You thought our star wide receiver was leaving. What he said after winning the NFL Moment of the Year award is going to shut all that talk down for good. But that's just the beginning. We might be signing an elite edge rusher on March 12th, a guy with 39 sacks in 3 seasons and a history with our defensive coordinator. And the final bomb? A Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator just became available right when we might need one. 3 moves that could take us from contenders to straight-up dominant. If you bounce now, you're going to miss how Chicago is building a dynasty. Stick around till the end. First story, DJ Moore. Look, I know a lot of you have been hearing all kinds of noise about DJ Moore. Trade rumors, contract talk, people saying he doesn't fit the system anymore. And I gotta ask, did you all really believe that? Because let me tell you something, DJ Moore just shut everybody up. At the 2026 NFL Honors, Moore took home the NFL Moment of the Year for that overtime touchdown against the Packers. And y'all already know what it means to beat Green Bay in OT. That game was legendary. Soldier Field was shaking. The energy was something we hadn't felt in years. But what he said in his speech, that's what really matters. Listen to this word for word. Everybody knows this season was special for the 2025 Bears because, rest in peace, Virginia. But we went out there and made some moments this year. And they were special moments. And we're looking to wreak havoc on the league next year. First off, that shout out to Virginia McCaskey. Pure class. That kind of respect for the history of this franchise is exactly what we need. Virginia was the last direct link to George Halas, to the original Monsters of the Midway. DJ recognizing that and honoring it publicly tells me everything I need to know about his mindset. But here's the key. Did you catch that? We and next year. He didn't say they. He didn't say maybe. He didn't say we'll see. He said we. This man is locked in with Chicago, locked in with Caleb Williams, locked in with this organization. I'm telling you right now, DJ Moore ain't talking like someone who's leaving. He's talking like someone with unfinished business. He's talking like someone who knows what they built in 2025 was just the beginning. And you know what? I believe that. I believe DJ gets something most players don't. Chicago is on the verge of something special. Now, I know what some of y'all are going to say, but Miguel, he didn't even hit 1,000 yards 2 years in a row. He had his lowest yardage season ever with just 799 yards. And I say, so what? Did you not see how this offense evolved? Let me break it down. When DJ got to Chicago in 2023, he was basically the only reliable weapon we had. Justin Fields was targeting him non-stop because there weren't many other options. In 2024, things started to shift a bit, but we were still predictable. Then in 2025, everything changed. Ben Johnson came in with a whole new system. A system that spreads the ball around, uses motion, creates mismatches all over the field. Suddenly, Rome Odunze steps up as a legit threat on the other side. The kid had an insane rookie season. Cole Kmet finally started producing like a top-tier tight end. And our run game, which had been a joke for years, suddenly became respectable. What does that mean? It means defenses couldn't just double DJ all game anymore. They had to respect all our weapons. And you know what? DJ embraced that. He didn't complain, didn't ask for a trade, didn't run to the media crying about targets. He just did his job. And here's the crazy part. Even though his yards went down, his impact didn't. Let me ask you, who made the biggest play of our season? DJ Moore with that touchdown against Green Bay. Who converted clutch third downs when we needed them most? DJ Moore. Who was the vet in that wide receiver room, keeping everyone locked in? DJ Moore. DJ's role changed, but his value didn't. And that's what separates good players from great ones. Good players only shine when everything's built around them. Great players adapt, evolve, and find ways to impact the game, no matter the system. When we needed a big-time play, who delivered? DJ Moore. When the game was on the line, who did Caleb look for? DJ Moore. That overtime touchdown wasn't luck. It was DJ being DJ when it mattered most. Perfect route, sure hands, full awareness of the moment. People get too caught up in individual stats and forget the context. Look at the full picture. DJ had 799 yards, yeah, but he also had 6 touchdowns. His yards per catch, 12.5. That's solid. And more importantly, His catch percentage was 68%. That means when Caleb threw it his way, DJ was there. This ain't Carolina, where DJ was literally the only guy who could make plays. Remember, in Carolina, DJ had 1,100-yard seasons because he was the only option. Here, we've got talent everywhere. The ball gets spread around. But when you need someone who knows the system, who's got chemistry with your QB, who can make the tough catch, DJ's your guy. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. His contract. DJ's making around $20 million a year through 2025. Yeah, it's a big number. Yeah, there are cap decisions to make. Ryan Poles has to juggle a lot. But let me ask you, how many elite receivers are willing to take a reduced role without complaining? Think about all the WR drama we've seen in the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. in Cleveland, Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh, Davante Adams wanting out of Vegas. Everybody wants to be the star. Everybody wants the targets. Everybody wants the stats. How many are willing to be the second or third option in targets and still show up when it matters most? Not many. And DJ Moore is one of those rare ones. Finding a receiver with DJ's talent is tough. Maybe 20 to 25 guys in the whole league can do what he does. But finding one with his mindset, impossible. This dude has bought into what Ben Johnson is building. He gets that winning matters more than personal stats. And in this league, that mindset is more valuable than any number on a stat sheet. Think about what he said in that speech. He talked about the 2025 season as something special, as a starting point. He didn't sound like someone closing a chapter. He sounded like someone excited to write the next one. He talked about wreaking havoc on the league, not seeing what happens or hoping for the best. That's a winner's mindset. That's the mentality we need in Chicago. After years of mediocrity, after years of rebuilding, we finally have players who believe they can compete at the highest level. I'm telling you this with full confidence. DJ Moore is going to be a Bear in 2026. And not just that, he's going to be a key piece of what we're building. Ryan Poles ain't dumb. He knows what he's got in DJ. He knows you can't just replace that experience, that leadership, that clutch gene. You know what DJ Moore's real value is? It's not just the 799 yards. It's that Caleb Williams has a veteran receiver he can trust. It's that when you draw up a 3rd and 7 play, you know DJ's going to run that route exactly how it's supposed to be run. It's that when you need 15 yards in a do-or-die situation, you can throw it to DJ with confidence. You can't measure that in stats. That doesn't show up on Pro Football Reference. But that's what wins championships. Reliability, consistency, professionalism. And you know what's wild? While everyone was busy spinning narratives about him leaving, DJ was busy being Captain Clutch. While the media speculated about trades and cap moves, he was making plays that got us to the playoffs for the first time in years. While the experts on Twitter were saying the Bears should cut him to save money, DJ was at the facility working with Caleb, building chemistry, perfecting routes, being the pro this organization needs. This whole narrative that the Bears want to move on from DJ Moore, it needs to die right now. There's no evidence of that. Zero. Nada. In fact, everything points to the team and the player being on the same page. Ryan Poles hasn't said a word about trading DJ. Ben Johnson praised him all season long. Caleb Williams sees him as one of his go-to guys. They're ready to wreak havoc in 2026, just like DJ said. And I believe that. I believe that with another year in Johnson's system, with Caleb more comfortable, with more weapons around him, DJ's going to have an insane season in 2026. And for everyone who doubted, for everyone who spread those baseless rumors, DJ Moore just gave you his answer. And it was loud, clear, and left no room for interpretation. He's a Bear. He's staying a Bear. And you're going to have to deal with it. Navy and orange runs through DJ Moore's veins now. And that, family, is a beautiful thing to see. Second story, Trey Hendrickson. If that got you hyped, wait till you hear this, because what could go down in free agency has the potential to completely transform this defense. We're talking about a move that could take us from solid to straight up scary. We're talking about bringing back the monsters of the Midway. Trey Hendrickson, That name should get every Bears fan fired up, and if Ryan Poles is paying attention, and I know he is, this should be his #1 target when free agency opens on March 12th. Look, I know our defence took a massive leap under Dennis Allen. We led the league in takeaways with 33. That's insane! That's historic! For context, the last time the Bears led the league in takeaways was back in 2012 under Lovie Smith, 14 years ago. That's how long it's been. Dennis Allen came in and flipped the defensive mindset completely. He brought in an aggressive scheme that forces turnovers. Our DBs are playing more press coverage. Our linebackers are attacking gaps. The whole system is built to create chaos, and it worked. Tremaine Edmonds had a monster season. Kyler Gordon finally showed why he was a second-round pick. Jaquan Brisker, when healthy, was a missile in the secondary. The defense took huge steps forward. But let's be real. We struggled to generate consistent pressure on the quarterback. And in this league, if you can't get after the QB, you can't control the game. It's that simple. Check the stats. We finished with just 38 sacks as a team. That ranked us 22nd in the league. 22nd. That's unacceptable for a Chicago defense. The monsters of the Midway don't finish 22nd in sacks. That's not who we are. Montez Sweat did his job. He had 11 sacks, which is solid, but he needed help. DeMarcus Walker added 5. Yannick Ngakoue, who we brought in mid-season, chipped in 3.5. But we didn't have that second elite edge rusher to take the pressure off Sweat. And that's a problem, because when you've only got one dangerous edge rusher, offenses can scheme around him. They can chip with a tight end, slide protection his way, keep a running back in to help. There are 1,000 ways to neutralize one guy. That's where Hendrickson comes in. This dude has been a sack machine. Over the last 3 seasons with Cincinnati, he's racked up 39 sacks. 39 in 3 years. That's an average of 13 sacks per season. That's elite production. To put that in perspective, only a handful of players in the entire NFL have more sacks than Hendrickson over that span. We're talking Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and that's about it. That's the level Hendrickson is on. In 2025, Hendrickson had 14 sacks for the Bengals. 14 at 31 years old. While his team was struggling, while the offense couldn't stay on the field, while he was facing double teams constantly, he still put up 14 sacks. Put him opposite Montez Sweat and let me ask you, what offense in the NFC is going to handle that? The Packers with their rebuilt O-line? The Vikings trying to protect whoever their QB is? The Lions, who are solid, but now have to face Sweat and Hendrickson twice a year? Mike Tania, a longtime NFL analyst, said it plain and simple on Too Deep Zone. The Bears should absolutely go after him. And I couldn't agree more. This isn't just fan talk. Analysts who know the game are saying the same thing. There's a lot of buzz connecting Hendrickson to Chicago. Why? Because he played for Dennis Allen in New Orleans from 2017 to 2020. He knows the system. He knows the expectations. He knows what Allen wants from his edge rushers. He knows the calls, the adjustments, the philosophy. In New Orleans, Hendrickson wasn't the guy he is now. He was more of a rotational piece. But Allen saw something in him. He developed him. And when Hendrickson went to Cincinnati in 2021, he blew up 14 sacks in his first year with the Bengals. And he hasn't slowed down since. Some people might say this is just off-season clickbait, just rumors with no legs. But I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there's fire. And this fire could turn into something special for Chicago. Think about the connection. Dennis Allen knows Hendrickson. Hendrickson knows Allen's system. There's no learning curve. From day one of training camp, Hendrickson can step in and be exactly what we need. No need to learn a new scheme. No need to adjust to a new philosophy. He can just play. And think about what this would mean. Hendrickson is 31. Yeah, but he's still in his prime. Elite edge rushers can play at a high level into their mid-30s. Look at Von Miller. Look at Khalil Mack. Look at Cameron Jordan. They're all still producing in their 30s. If Hendrickson is fully healthy this offseason, and all signs say he is, we're talking about adding an all-pro to this defense. A guy who's proven he can be the guy on the edge. A guy who's produced against the best offenses in the AFC North year after year. Now, I know some of y'all are going to worry about the price tag. He's going to be one of the most sought-after edge rushers on the market. He's probably looking for a 3-year deal worth 60 to 70 million, with 40 to 45 million guaranteed. That's a lot of money. But let me ask you, what's it worth to have a defence that can match what our offence did in 2025? What's it worth to have a defence that can win games on its own? What's it worth to bring back the monsters of the midway? Because that's the key here. Our offence, with Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Roma Dunza, and Ben Johnson's system, can score with anybody. We saw that in 2025. We had games where we dropped 30-plus points. We had 2-minute drives that were textbook. The offence is ready. But to win championships, you need a defence that can close games, that can force punts in the fourth quarter, that can get the crucial third down sack, that can cause a fumble when you need it most. Hendrickson gives us that. Put him across from Sweat, and suddenly, offences have to choose. Do you double Sweat or Hendrickson? You can't do both. There aren't enough blockers, and when you try, someone's getting a one-on-one. And in a one-on-one, both Sweat and Hendrickson win. Picture this. 3rd and 7, fourth quarter. The opponent needs a first down to seal the game. Sweat's coming off the right edge. Hendrickson off the left. The QB's got maybe 2.5 seconds before one of them gets home. That changes everything. That makes QBs rush throws, make mistakes, force passes. I think this move makes all the sense in the world. Not just from a talent standpoint, but from a timing standpoint. We're in a competitive window right now. Caleb's on his rookie deal, making relatively little for a franchise QB. We've got cap flexibility over the next few years. This is the time to make aggressive moves. Look at what the Rams did when Jared Goff was on his rookie deal. They brought in Jalen Ramsey, Marcus Peters, built an elite defense, went to the Super Bowl. That's the mindset we need. And think about what this would do to the rest of the NFC North. The Packers already have issues on their O-line. Jordan Love is solid, but he needs time. If Sweat and Hendrickson are in his face all game, what's going to happen? Turnovers, sacks, negative plays. The Vikings are trying to rebuild their O-line after losing key pieces. Whoever their QB is, he's going to be running for his life if we face them twice a year with Sweat and Hendrickson. The Lions? Yeah, they're good. They've got a solid offensive line. But adding Hendrickson puts us in position to go toe-to-toe with them. It gives us a real shot at winning the division. Dennis Allen knows how to use Hendrickson. He had him in New Orleans. He knows his strengths. He knows how to maximize his impact. He knows when to use him in stunts, when to leave him one-on-one, when to move him around to create mismatches. There's no learning curve here. From day one, Hendrickson can step in and be exactly what we need. First day of camp, he already knows the calls, the responsibilities, and how to execute. The connection with Allen is real, and in free agency, those connections matter. Hendrickson might get offers from a bunch of teams. The Cowboys will probably call. The Falcons need edge rushers. The Commanders are building something, but the chance to reunite with a coordinator who knows him, on a team that's clearly on the rise, in a city with a defensive tradition like Chicago, that's attractive. That's something money alone can't buy. Chicago has a defensive tradition few cities can match. The Monsters of the Midway isn't just a cool nickname, it's an identity. It's Bootkus, it's Singletary, it's Urlacher, it's Peppers. It's a legacy of great defenders who defined this franchise. Hendrickson has a chance to be part of that tradition, to be the guy who helped bring defensive greatness back to Chicago. That's legacy. That's something people remember forever. I'm telling you right now, if Ryan Poles can pull this off, if he can bring Trey Hendrickson to Chicago, we're talking about one of the best free agent signings in recent franchise history. We're talking about sending a message to the rest of the league that Chicago is all in on building a champion. And you know what the best part is? This isn't fantasy. It's completely possible. We've got around 45 to 50 million in projected cap space for 2026. We've got the need. We've got the connection with the coordinator. All the pieces are there. We just need Poles to make the call. Picture the announcement. The Chicago Bears have signed edge rusher Trey Hendrickson to a 3-year deal. Soldier Field would go nuts. The whole city would be buzzing. That's the kind of move that changes a franchise's narrative. Suddenly, we're not the rebuilding team. We're the team building a champion. We're the team making the moves to compete right now. Third story, Jim Schwarz. Now here's where things get really wild, because while we're talking about upgrading this defense right now, there's a situation unfolding that could massively impact our defensive future. A situation that shows Ryan Poles isn't just thinking about 2026. He's thinking about 2027, 2028, and beyond. Jim Schwarz just stepped away from the Cleveland Browns. One of the best defensive coordinators in the entire NFL just walked away. And I gotta ask, do you really think that's a coincidence? You think Poles isn't watching this closely? Ian Rappaport, probably the most plugged-in insider in the league, reported that Schwarz is leaving Cleveland even though the Browns tried to keep him. They offered him more money, more control, basically everything they could, and Schwarz still said no. Diana Rossini from The Athletic, another top-tier reporter, added that Schwarz is expected to take the 2026 season off, a sabbatical, a year to reset, to evaluate his options, to figure out what's next. This man is 59 years old, and he's considered elite on both sides of the ball. He was the head coach of the Lions from 2009 to 2013. He was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl in 2017. He's been around this league for decades. Why did he leave? Because he wanted the head coaching job in Cleveland, and they gave it to Todd Monken. The Browns had a decision to make. Schwarz had done an incredible job with that defense. He had them playing at an elite level, but they went in another direction. That didn't sit well with Schwarz, and I don't blame him. The guy's paid his dues. He's proven he can be a successful head coach, and Cleveland basically told him, thanks, but no thanks. Now he's out. And here's where it gets interesting for Chicago. Now I know what you're thinking. Miguel, what does this have to do with the Bears? We've got Dennis Allen. He's doing a great job. And you're right, Allen is doing a great job. But hear me out. This has everything to do with the Bears. Because if Dennis Allen crushes it in 2026, and I believe he will, he's going to get another shot at being a head coach. And when that happens, guess who might be available? Jim Schwarz. Think about it. Schwarz takes 2026 off. Allen potentially leaves after the 2026 season to become a head coach somewhere else. The timing is perfect. It's almost like it's lining up on purpose. And we're not talking about just any coordinator. We're not talking about some guy who had one good season and now everyone wants to interview him. We're talking about Jim Schwarz, a guy who won a Super Bowl with the Eagles in 2017, a guy whose defense was crucial to that championship. Remember that Super Bowl, Eagles versus Patriots? Everyone thought Tom Brady was going to torch that Eagles defense. And what happened? Schwartz's defense forced a game-changing fumble. They brought pressure all game. They made the plays when it mattered. Brandon Graham strip-sacking Brady in the fourth quarter. That was the play that sealed the game. That was the play that won the Super Bowl. And it came straight out of Schwartz's scheme. His preparation, his ability to put his guys in position to succeed. This past year with the Browns, Schwarz had that defense ranked third in sacks with 53. 53 sacks! That's wild! For comparison, we had 38. The Browns had 15 more sacks than us. 15! They were also third in passing yards allowed per game, just 167.2. That's dominant. In a league where teams are slinging the ball all over the place, where QBs are breaking records every year, Schwarz had his defense holding teams under 170 per game. And this was a defense that statistically was better than ours in multiple categories. That's not a knock on Dennis Allen. He did a great job. But Schwarz is elite. That's just a fact. And he did it without a perfect roster. He didn't have a defense full of all pros. He had Myles Garrett, sure, probably the best edge rusher in the league. But beyond that, a mix of vets and young guys, not a star-studded unit. He had Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah at linebacker, excellent player, Denzel Ward at corner, but also a bunch of young guys nobody was talking about before the season. And he got production out of them. He just maximized what he had. That's what great coordinators do. They don't complain about the roster. They don't make excuses. They just find ways to win with what they've got. Now, technically, Schwarz is still under contract with Cleveland through 2027. And yeah, The Browns probably won't be thrilled about letting him go. The Haslams probably don't want to see him on another sideline, especially after how things ended, but things can change between now and next off-season. Contracts can be negotiated. Situations evolve. If Schwarz really wants to be in Chicago, and if the Bears really want him, there are ways to make it happen. Draft pick compensation, financial agreements. There's precedent for coordinators being released from contracts to take jobs elsewhere, especially when they've been passed over for head coaching promotions. I believe that if the Bears need a replacement for Allen, Schwarz would be the perfect choice. His scheme has proven effective year after year with different teams. It's not a system that needs specific players. It's adaptable. It's flexible. It's smart. In Philly, he didn't have superstars across the board. He had solid players, but not a defense full of Pro Bowlers. And he still won a Super Bowl. That says everything about his ability as a coordinator. In Cleveland, like I said, he worked with a mix of vets and rookies, and he made them play like a unit. That's not easy. That takes elite coaching. He can adjust to what he's got. If he's got elite edge rushers, he builds around that. If he's got talented DBs, he adjusts to maximize their impact. If he's got athletic linebackers, he uses them creatively. And think about what we could have in 2027 if this all comes together. Upgrades on the D-line. Maybe Hendrickson's already here. Health at linebacker and corner. Young guys like Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker with another year of experience. And a coordinator like Schwarz who knows how to put all those pieces together. That's a recipe for an elite defense. That's a recipe for bringing the monsters of the Midway back for real. Chicago's defensive tradition is real. It's not just nostalgia. It's not just talk about the past. The Monsters of the Midway isn't just a nickname. It's an identity. It's who we are as a franchise. Urlacher, Peppers, Hicks, Briggs, Tillman, all those great players who've come through here. All those guys who defined eras of Chicago football. Schwarz understands that tradition. He's studied the history of this league. He respects what Chicago stands for defensively. And I believe he'd love to be part of restoring it. Think about the legacy. Being the DC who brought defensive greatness back to Chicago, who made the Monsters of the Midway feared again. Carr. That's special. Obviously, this is looking ahead. This is long-term planning. First, we need Allen to do his thing in 2026. We need to improve the roster, stay healthy, keep developing our young guys. But it's important to know that if Allen leaves, and let's be real, he probably will eventually because he's too good not to get another head coaching shot, we won't be starting from scratch. We'd have an elite candidate potentially available, a guy who's built winning defenses in multiple stops, a guy who's won a Super Bowl, a guy who could take what Allen builds and take it even further. I'm telling you, this Schwarz situation is something Ryan Poles and the front office need to monitor closely. You don't let an opportunity like this slip away. If Allen leaves and Schwarz is available, you do everything you can to bring him in. You get on the phone immediately. You lay out your vision. You show him the roster, the facilities, the organization's commitment to defensive excellence. You sell him on Chicago. And you know what's crazy? While other teams are scrambling to figure out how to build a defense, we could have a succession plan in place. From Dennis Allen to Jim Schwarz. That's elite continuity. That's smart planning. That's what winning organizations do. They don't wait until someone leaves to start looking for a replacement. They're always thinking 2-3 steps ahead. They're always ready for whatever comes next. Chicago deserves a defense that can go toe-to-toe with anyone. A defense that can close games. A defense that can win championships. A defense that keeps quarterbacks up at night before they play us. With Allen now and potentially Schwarz next. We're set up to have exactly that. We're set up for a decade of defensive dominance. That's what we're building here. And that, family, is something to get excited about. So there you have it. 3 stories that could define the future of this franchise. DJ Moore locked in with Chicago and ready to wreak havoc, shutting down all the doubters. Trey Hendrickson as the perfect free agent target to take our defense from good to dominant. And Jim Schwarz as the ace up our sleeve if Dennis Allen eventually moves on, ensuring that defensive excellence continues. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your honest takes in the comments. Do you think DJ Moore should be untouchable in any trade talks? Because I do! His leadership, experience, and clutch ability make him invaluable to Caleb Williams and this offense. Do you agree that Hendrickson should be POLES' #1 priority in free agency? I'm telling you, if we don't go after Hendrickson with everything we've got, we're making a massive mistake. This is our shot to have one of the best edge duos in the entire NFL. And do you think Schwarz would be the perfect replacement for Allen if that time comes? Or would you rather go in a different direction? Because I think Schwarz is exactly the kind of elite coordinator this franchise needs to keep the defensive standard high. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know if you're as fired up as I am about what's coming. I want debate. I want discussion. I want this community to get loud. Which of these 3 stories has you the most excited? Is it DJ staying and committing to Chicago? Is it the possibility of bringing in Hendrickson? Or is it knowing we've got a contingency plan with Schwarz? And if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Seriously, what are you waiting for? This is your Bears family. We don't just report the news. We live it. We break down every move, every decision, every play like it's our own life. Because to us, it is. We're more than a YouTube channel. We're a community. We're a family united by navy and orange. We're fans who've suffered through years of mediocrity. And now we're ready to celebrate together when we finally get back to the top. So hit that subscribe button now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Turn on notifications, because I promise you, we've got more breaking news coming tomorrow, and you do not want to miss what's next for Chicago. We're going to be covering every free agency move, every trade rumor, every draft decision, every press conference, everything. And we want you here with us for every second of this ride. This is Bear Down, family. This is Navy and Orange. This is Chicago. And our moment is coming. I can feel it. After years in the wilderness, after years of heartbreak, we're finally building something special. Caleb Williams is our quarterback of the future. Ben Johnson is our offensive mastermind. Dennis Allen is building an elite defense. Ryan Poles is making the right moves. The pieces are falling into place. And you, this community, are part of it. You're part of this Chicago Bears rebirth. Your comments, your passion, your support, it all matters. We're a family, and families stick together. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll break down every detail of what's coming in free agency. We'll analyze every possible move. We'll get you ready for whatever POLES has planned. Bear down, family. Bear down.